So today in this video we'll be studying about the human eye. The human eye is one of the 5 sense organs that God has gifted us. We know that these 5 sense organs are eyes, nose, ears, skin and tongue. Among all these 5 sense organs, we use the eyes to the most because we are constantly looking at something, which makes it one of the most valuable and sensitive sense organ. Our eyes allow us to perceive the world and colors around us. It makes the eye crucial among the sense organs, enabling us to appreciate the beauty of the world. In fact, human eye acts like a camera. The lens system of eye forms the image of the objects situated around the eye on a light-sensitive screen called retina. Let's just study about the construction of human eye in great detail. The eye consists of an eyeball that is nearly spherical, which is shown in this picture as well, that the shape is almost spherical. The diameter of this eyeball is approximately 2.3 centimeter. The main parts of the human eye are as follows. Number 1 is the sclerotic. This is the outer covering of the eyeball. It is a tough, opaque, white layer that forms the white part of the eye. Similarly, the innermost layer is known as the choroid, which is black in color and helps prevent internal light reflection. Number 2 is the cornea. This curved portion, like from here to here, this curved portion is what corresponds to the cornea. The cornea is the visible portion of the eye from the outside, and most of the light refraction entering the eye occurs at the outer surface of cornea only. Now, what is the meaning of reflection here? We know that refraction corresponds to the bending of light as it goes from one medium to the other. Now, light is entering, let us say there is presence of air, because mostly outside our eye what we have is air, right? And the eye has a different refractive index than air. Now, whenever light will travel from air to the eye, the refractive index will change and the light ray will bend. And that's what corresponds to the reflection, that most of that reflection occurs at the surface of cornea only, like here. Next is iris and the pupil. The iris is a muscular diaphragm that is located behind the cornea and is the colored part of the eye. So iris is present just besides the cornea, just behind the cornea. This is cornea and this is the iris. This is iris. So the color of the iris varies from person to person depending on the pigments present. And in the center of iris there is a small opening that is known as the pupil. So this small opening is what corresponds to the pupil. Actually, most of the light that enters the eye enters from pupil only. It appears black because the light entering the eye is absorbed with little to no reflection. The amount of light entering the eye is controlled by varying the aperture of the pupil. The meaning of aperture here is simply the size. Aperture of pupil with the help of iris when the light intensity is low. So the iris enlarges, making more space for the pupil, allowing more light to enter. In bright light conditions, to avoid the glare that can fall on our eyes, the iris constricts the pupil, limiting the amount of light that would enter our eye. Let's just move on to the next slide now. Next is the crystalline lens. Now, crystalline lens is just located behind the pupil. Like this is what the crystalline lens is. It is a transparent and has a biconvex structure. The meaning of biconvex here is convex from both sides, or we can say that it is a convex lens. It is hard at the center and softer towards the edges, and suspensory ligaments hold the lens in place, and it is the ciliary muscles that adjust the lens's curvature and focal length depending upon whether the object is present near to the eye or far away from the eye. The relaxed ciliary muscles make the lens thinner from the edges, because I told you that here that it is hard at the center and softer at the edges. So relaxed ciliary muscles make the lens thinner, thereby increasing the focal length, and the contracted ciliary muscles thicken the lens, decreasing the focal length, depending upon whether the object is nearer to the eye or far away from the eye. Next is the aqueous humor, the anterior chamber, that is the space between this cornea. Like we know, this is the curve. This curved portion is the cornea. The space between the cornea and the lens is filled with a watery fluid, and that is what is known as the aqueous humor. Just erase this. Next is the retina. Retina is actually the screen where the image formation takes place. It is a delicate membrane lining the rear of the ball. This is what the retina is. It acts as the screen for the image formation by focusing the refracted light, and it contains about 125 million light sensitive cells. There are primarily two types of cells, the rod cells and the cone cells. The rod cells respond to the light intensity and the cone cells respond to the colors, and these cells generate the electrical signals. Next is the vitreous humor. The space between the eyelids and the retina is filled with the jelly-like material, and it is known as the posterior chamber, and that is what corresponds to the vitreous humor. Just don't confuse this with the aqueous humor, because aqueous humor is the watery fluid that fills the space between the cornea and the eyelids, right? However, if we talk about the vitreous humor, it fills up the space between the eyelids and the retina. Next is the optic nerve. So optic nerve basically connects the retina to the brain. This is the optic nerve, and it connects the retina to the brain. The sensation of the image formed on retina is transmitted to brain by the optic nerve only. Next is the blind spot. At the junction of optic nerve and retina in the eye, there are no light-sensitive rods or cone-shaped cells. Hence, no vision is possible at this spot. That is why it is known as the blind spot. And this is what the junction corresponding to retina and optic nerve lies. Last is the yellow spot. A small region situated at the center of retina is most sensitive to light, and it is known as the yellow spot. When we examine an object very minutely, its image is brought to focus at the yellow spot of retina. And that was all about the construction of human eye. I hope this topic is clear to you. Thank you.